Hello, friends. Today I want to talk about the traditional publishing path, what most authors experience. When people imagine the moment an author gets published, they often picture a simple sequence of events. A writer finishes a book, they send it to a publisher, and soon afterward, the book is released to the world. But the traditional publishing process is rarely that straightforward. In reality, the path to traditional publication involves several stages, each with its own hurdles, waiting periods, and uncertainties. Understanding how the traditional publishing process works helps explain why so many manuscripts spend months or even years moving through the system and never getting anywhere. Everything begins with the manuscript. Before entering the publishing process, most authors spend months or years writing and revising their book. This stage often involves multiple drafts, feedback from early readers, and extensive editing. Writers usually try to make their manuscript as strong as possible before submitting it anywhere. Once the author believes the book is ready, the next stage begins. So step 2 is querying literary agents. In traditional publishing, most authors do not approach publishers directly. Instead, they first seek representation from literary agents. Agents serve as intermediaries between writers and publishers. Their job is to evaluate manuscripts, select projects they believe have potential, and submit those projects to publishing houses. To connect with an agent, authors typically send a query letter. This letter introduces the book, explains its concept, and attempts to capture the agent's interest. If the query succeeds, the agent may request the full manuscript. This stage alone can involve dozens of submissions. Step 3 is agent representation. If an agent decides to represent a writer, the manuscript enters the next stage of the traditional publishing process. The agent works with the author to refine the manuscript and prepare it for submission to publishers. Agents often help strengthen the project by offering editorial suggestions or repositioning the book for the marketplace. Once the manuscript is ready, the agent begins submitting it to publishing houses. Step 4 is publisher submissions. At this stage, the manuscript travels to editors at publishing companies. Editors review the project and decide whether it fits their publishing list. Even strong manuscripts can be declined if the topic does not align with current market needs as they interpret it. Some editors who love a manuscript must still convince internal teams that the book is commercially viable. Because of this, the traditional publishing process often includes multiple rounds of consideration, even within the publishing house. If the book gains enough support, the publisher may make an offer. Step 5 is the publishing contract. Once a publisher decides to move forward, the author receives a contract offer. This agreement outlines royalties, rights, ownership, deadlines, and distribution terms. Contracts are usually negotiated by the literary agent on the author's behalf. After both sides finalize the agreement, the manuscript officially becomes part of the publisher's upcoming catalog. But even then, publication may still be months or years away. Step 6 is editing, production, and release. After signing the contract, the manuscript enters another phase of the traditional publishing process, editorial development. Editors work with the author to refine the manuscript further. This may involve structural changes, line editing, and revisions to strengthen clarity and readability, and sometimes point of view. Once editing is complete, the book moves through design, formatting, cover creation, and printing preparation. Only after all these steps are finished does the book finally reach readers. So the traditional publishing process can be slow and competitive. Many manuscripts are submitted before one finds a home with a publisher. Even after acceptance, the journey to publication can take considerable time. But for some writers, the support of an established publishing house, along with its distribution and marketing infrastructure, makes the process worthwhile. Understanding this path helps reveal the many stages that exist between the moment a book is written and the moment it reaches readers. So I hope this has clarified the process a little bit for you. Until next time, remember to stay healthy in heart.